In Haiti, citizens of the southern department of NIPS protest for better quality of life in the Caribbean nation. Argentinian justice investigating the assassination attempt against Vice President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner orders summary silence as investigation is underway. And 2 Russian foreign ministry officials were killed on Monday in a terrorist attack in the Afghan capital, Kabul. From the headquarters of teleSUR English in Havana, Cuba, this is From the South. I'm your anchor, Gladys Quesada, and these are the news. In Haiti, citizens of the southern department of NIPS protested on Monday, calling for a better quality of life in the Caribbean nation. According to its organizers, the demonstrations will last until Wednesday. The recent protests demanded the government to step up and solve the growing scarcity of gasoline and diesel, the high cost of living, as well as gang violence and kidnappings that have surged in recent months, as the nation continues to reel from widespread political instability worsened by the July 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Protests came day after dozens of demonstrators staged a sit-in in front of the Prime Minister Ariel Henry's official residence and demanded his resignation. On Sunday, Peru's Prime Minister Aníbal Torres disclosed audios that involved several members of parliament who were plotting to violate several laws of the country. Accompanied by his entire executive cabinet, the Peruvian Prime Minister released the audio of a conversation between Deputy Parliament President Lady Camones and César Acuña, representative for the Progress Alliance, that shows they will have tried to promote in the parliament a law to turn Alto Trujillo in the district in order to favor Acuña Peralta's image within the framework of his electoral campaign. The chief of the cabinet indicated that the plotting is close to crime, and the executive is waiting for the reaction of the public prosecutor's office, the ombudsman's office, and the attorney general's office. Peruvian President Pedro Castillo and his wife Lilia Paredes will appear today before a judge for different accusations of alleged corruption that both deny. Castillo was summoned to testify on 2 cases related to a irregular purchase of biodiesel by the state-owned company Petroperú for more than $70 million by the local company Heaven Petroleum Operators. The other case about which the president will be questioned is the accusations of former Interior Minister Mariano González, who after leaving office last July claimed that his departure allegedly evidenced the president's will to obstruct the ongoing investigations. The First Lady will in turn appear before a judge who is expected to announce his decision to prohibit Paredes and her brothers, Walter and David Paredes, from leaving the country for 3 years. Former Brazilian president and presidential hopeful Luis Inácio Lula da Silva meets today, Monday, in Sao Paulo with the Bolivian president Luis Arce in the context of Arce's official visit to Brazil. The meeting is aimed at strengthening bilateral relations and discussing trade and other issues. Arce will also meet Bolivian diaspora in Brazil, especially with Bolivian entrepreneurs. The Bolivian head of state will be taking part in the conference on the social, economic, and productive community model, which begins today in the city of Sao Paulo. In addition to the meeting with Lula in the midst of the election campaign and on the eve of the bicentennial of Brazil's independence, Arce will meet with the candidate for governor of Sao Paulo, Fernando Haddad, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Celso Amorim, among other personalities. Argentinian justice investigating the assassination attempt against Vice President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner ordered a summary silence after learning of the possible loss of data from the assailant's cell phone. The judges involved in the investigation have received a statement from the computer experts explaining the reasons why the cell phone of detainee Sebag Montiel made a reset and returned to factory state. However, the authorities said that the SIM card and the chip were removed from the cell phone and that the information obtained is under analysis. The summary secrecy on said case proceedings will be reserved and not be made public until the opening of the oral trial, with the exceptions determined by the President's law. Now we move on to other topics. Global COVID-19 cases has surpassed 604 million, with death toll exceeding 6.49 million, according to the Center of Systems of Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. According to the report, the United States alone had recorded over 94.74 million COVID-19 cases, with a death toll surpassing 1.04 million. Brazil reported 2,009 new confirmed coronavirus cases and 15 new fatalities over the past 24 hours. Over 34 million cases the country has recorded and more than 684,000 deaths. In Europe, the Brussels-based European Commission said more than 2,300 people are dying of COVID-19 in the bloc every week. The cumulative confirmed COVID-19 cases and deaths in the UK exceeded 23 million, and over 2,006 were reported on early Monday. Japan confirmed 107,769 new COVID-19 cases and 216 new fatalities over the past 24 hours, as the Johns Hopkins University reported on early Monday. We'll take a short break now. Join us again after this. Welcome back. Liz Truss was announced on Monday as the United Kingdom's next Prime Minister after winning an internal leadership contest of the ruling Conservative Party. The Foreign Secretary beat her rival, former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak, by 81,326 votes to 60,399 after a summer-long internal contest sparked by Boris Johnson's resignation in July. Sir Graham Brady, the chair of the Conservative Party's 1922 committee, made the announcement in the presence of parliamentarians and other government officials.
And my friends, we need to show that we will deliver over the next 2 years. I will deliver a bold plan to cut taxes and grow our economy. I will deliver on the energy crisis, dealing with people's energy bills, but also dealing with the long-term issues we have on energy supply.
China on Monday accused the United States of launching tens of thousands of cyber attacks against the Asian giant, stealing sensitive data, including from a public research university. At a press briefing in Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said the U.S. should immediately stop cyber theft and attacks on other countries, but play a constructive role in safeguarding cybersecurity. According to an investigation report released by China's National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center, the Office of Tailored Access Operations under the National Security Agency of the United States has carried out vicious cyber attacks against China for years, including the email system of the Northwestern Polytechnical University in Xi'an City.
Company, the evidence chains of the U.S. National Security Agency's cyber attacks and digital piracy on China is clear and complete. It involves 13 people in the United States who directly launched cyber attacks on China, and more than 60 contracts and 170 electronic documents signed with the U.S. telecom operators to build a cyber attack environment. The report shows that the U.S. side has used 41 kinds of special cyber attack weapons and equipment to carry out cyber attacks and digital piracy on the Northwestern Polytechnical University for up to 1,000 times, and stolen a bunch of core technical data. The United States has also been on undifferentiated language monitoring on Chinese mobile phone users for a long time, illegally storing their text messages and made wireless location on them.
Now we move on to other topics. At least 46 people were killed and multiple homes were severely damaged after a 6.6 magnitude earthquake struck north-southwest China on Monday. The 6.6 magnitude earthquake shook the southwest of China, according to the U.S. Geological Service, and was recorded at midday in the mountainous region of Sichuan, whereas the depth was estimated at 10 kilometers and its epicenter 39 kilometers away from Ludin. The Chinese Center for Seismic Networks stated that there were several aftershocks in the vicinity of the first wave. More than 500 firefighters and rescue workers were sent to the epicenter. Sichuan province, which is very mountainous and famous for its panda reserves, usually records earthquakes of various intensity. In the Dominican Republic, 17 provinces are on alert due to rains caused by the indirect effects of Tropical Storm Earl. According to the Emergency Operations Center, among the provinces that are on alert are Gran Santo Domingo, El Ceibo, La Altagracia, San Pedro de Macorís, La Vega, and San Cristobal. In order to prevent the flooding of rivers, streams, and landslides, the authorities recommended to follow the guidelines and the orientations of the civil protection agencies, to keep in contact with the civil defense, the armed forces, the Red Cross, the National Police, and the Fire Department. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kinani said on Monday that his country has not received the United States' official response to its last proposal on the revival of the 2015 nuclear deal.
Iran is waiting to receive the response from other parties, notably that of the American government. Iran is trying to cancel sanctions to economically try to benefit the Iranian nation. And this is one of its main priorities at this time. Iran's response was constructive, clear, and it was also legal.
And teleSUR will dedicate its coverage of the Football World Cup Qatar 2022 to the figure of Diego Armando Maradona, who accompanied our crew in the last two World Cups. With the football star, we also toured our continent with the show The Sur de Viajero. We want this tribute to have its own music. With that in mind, we invite you to write or compose a song for teleSUR's coverage of Qatar 2022 Football World Cup. It must be an original song, never recorded before or published in any media, and free of legal attachments. Record the song in any format, WAV, MP3, even with your cell phone. And send it as an attachment to comunicaciones@telesurtv.net with the following information: author's name, nationality, and the title of the song. The closing date of the call for entries is September 10th, 2022. A jury of prestigious musicians and composers from the region will select the winning piece. The prize will be the recording of the song, a video clip, and the wide diffusion of the work. 1 week after the closing of the call, teleSUR will announce the results. And we have more news coming up after a final short break, so stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. On Monday, at least 20 people were killed, including 2 Russian Foreign Ministry officials, in an attack against the Russian embassy in the Afghan capital, Kabul. The Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that the event took place on Darula Man Street in the vicinity of its diplomatic headquarters. An embassy official approached a line of citizens doing consular business when a man detonated an explosive device at the embassy gates. The attack killed the embassy's second secretary, Sak Mahmoud, and one of the employees of the security department. More than 15 Afghan nationals are estimated to have been injured or killed. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the explosion, which is the latest to strike the country in the year since the Taliban seized power. And the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov paid tribute to embassy staff killed in Kabul after a terrorist bomb attack.
An unknown fighter detonated an explosive device in close proximity to the entrance to a consular department of our embassy. 2 of our comrades died, and immediately a number of measures have been taken on the security of the external perimeter. Additional forces of Taliban have been involved. The capabilities of intelligence and counterintelligence services have also been involved. We hope that the perpetrators of these terrorist acts will be punished as soon as possible.
Egyptian authorities sent about 90 truckloads of food and medicine to Sudan, which is suffering from floods that have killed at least 112 people. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi ordered to offer all the necessary support to Sudan for the flash flood crisis that hit several parts of the neighboring state. In this context, the Egyptian government established a land corridor for some 90 truckloads of food, medical supplies, and humanitarian aid to cross into Sudan. The action aims to alleviate several regions that have been affected by the heavy rains. On Monday, Kenya's Supreme Court dismissed the various petitions appealing the results of the August 9th election, which called the victory for William Ruto, incumbent Vice President of Kenya. By this ruling, the court upheld the election of Mr. Ruto as the next president of Kenya. The ruling came 3 days after arguments were heard from lawyers representing the 2 main candidates. There were 7 petitions with regards to the presidential election, which the court consolidated into 1 petition as they all had the same purpose. The election, which was held on 9th August, saw Mr. Ruto emerge winner with 50.49% of the total votes cast, to defeat his closest challenger, ex-Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who polled 48.85% of votes cast. Mr. Ruto also achieved the minimum 25% of votes in 39 counties. Both contenders said they will accept the ruling.
This is a unanimous decision of the court, and we make the following orders. 1. The presidential election petition number E005 of 2022 as consolidated with the presidential election petition numbers E001, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8 of 2022 are hereby dismissed. As a consequence, we declare the election of the first respondent as president-elect to be varied under Article 143 of the Constitution.
The United Nations head of the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Martin Griffiths, warned that Somalia was on the brink of famine and time was running out to save lives. The situation in the African country worsened after being hit by 4 failed rainy seasons that caused a devastating drought. At a press conference, the UN official stressed that famine was likely to occur in 2 areas in south-central Somalia between October and December this year. The nation and its neighbors in the Horn of Africa, including Ethiopia and Kenya, are in the grip of the worst drought in more than 40 years, which has wiped out livestock and crops. Humanitarian agencies have been warning about the deteriorating situation for months, with the UN World Food Programme saying that the number of people at risk of starvation across the region increased to 22 million.
I've been shocked to my core these past few days by the level of pain and suffering we see so many Somalis enduring. Famine is at the door, and today we are receiving a final warning.
teleSUR English continues to grow. Its signal now reaches Europe. You can order it from your cable dealer or tune it yourself. These parameters that you see on the screen are in place since July 1st. Quite soon, further changes will be implemented for the signals in the Middle East and Africa. Now, more than ever, the world connects to us and our stories are heard in other farther away nations. This news multi-platform will continue providing truthful content to oppose the hegemonic media's narrative and our faithfulness to our audience. So we have come to the end of this news brief, but remember, you can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also, if you feel so inclined, please join us on social media for all the latest news. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Telegram. And now you can also follow us on TikTok account at teleSUR English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. For teleSUR English, I'm your anchor, Gladys Quesada. Thank you for watching.